How would you describe the basement?
Dark.
The basement,
Everything about the basement when you walk in looks like this shouldn't be a fun venue to be at.
kind of like a pseudo pit.
I was gonna say unique.
Dingy?
It's literally a basement.
I mean, there's pillars everywhere.
A lot of cinder block walls, old hand-me-down couches.
The space is so intimate, so small, and it's just different, you know, in a good way.
The basement is an incredible place to just feel very close to your audience. There's not a lot of room to move about. You're right up against the crowd, and after your show's done, there's really nowhere else to go besides out into the crowd. If you're an artist that really loves your fans, and if you have amazing fans, those two separate parties are going to be able to meet each other and, you know, create that relationship that should last forever.
Your runaway dreams and I got my car. I'll take you anywhere you wanna go. Hey,
Well, this is absolutely my dream job because no one comes to a show to be angry. They're coming here because it's one of their favorite bands, and typically everyone has a smile on their face and they leave this place very excited that they came to a show. The basement is one of those venues that, yes, you get people at their earliest of their career, so maybe it's their first record or it's an EP release. You also get bands that maybe they've hit the prime of their career and are, you know, just still playing the hits and can't sell as many tickets as they once did. But then you also get this like really cool thing where maybe a band is doing very well and they want to try a side project, and the basement is a great stepping stone to see how that side project's going to do. One of my first shows at the basement, I saw Young the Giant, and they had a direct support band, the Pomegranates from Cincinnati, and then they had a first of three also from Cincinnati named Walk the Moon that I believe got signed that night in the basement. So for $5, you got to see three bands that their careers have completely taken off since. We've also had the Jonas Brothers. Fall Out Boy has played here. Obviously we've had 21 Pilots several times down here. Members of the Foo Fighters, the Strokes. I got my start here in the basement by working merch for Chance the Rapper. Mike Watt, who is an absolute legend on bass, has played here several times. I've heard plenty of stories like, oh, you work at the basement? Like, I saw Maggie Rogers there, or I saw Greta Van Fleet there, and their faces light up. Basically, we'll do anything but jazz, because it doesn't really fit the scene. But we've had country acts down here, we've had heavy metal, where the people are hanging from the rafters. The beauty about the basement is it's a 300 cap, and we'll book kind of anything that will sell tickets. So the basement is the smallest of the Promo West venues. We have the basement, which is a 300 capacity room. Right above it is the A&R bar, that's a 400 capacity room. We also have the Newport on campus, that's 1,400. And then the Express Live is one of the first buildings to have a dual indoor-outdoor stage. And indoor can hold 2,200 people, and outdoor 5,000. If you don't have a very consistent following, either locally or nationally, and you're weary about, you know, either renting out too big of a room or what your draw is going to be, the basement allows for growth, because if it does sell out quickly, we can move you to a different venue. But if your show doesn't do as well, there's less risk from the artist end.
I feel like if you're an artist on the rise, it's almost impossible to forego playing at a Promo West venue because, well, A, because they have so many venues in Columbus, and B, because as you start to climb the ladder up, their venues tend to be the only ones that are like the bigger venues in Columbus.
They get people out to those shows, and there's always a great community of people that go to those venues just to go there because they love the venues and they love the kind of culture that Promo West has set up.
It's old. It's been open for 15 years now. We don't have a lot of budgets for the basement to renovate as much as we would like. We're also living in a very old building here. This building wasn't designed to be a venue. It's the last standing building of the Ohio Penitentiary. So we just kind of morphed it into a venue by building a stage. It's literally a basement. It's concrete floors. There's really old hand-me-down couches, a lot of cinder block walls. Stage left, you have the green rooms where the band hangs out. In case you were wondering, there's no bathroom back there. There's no shower back there. There's no laundry back there. It is really bare bones. And it feels cold in the summer and cold in the winter, just like everyone else's basement. Sometimes we'll have some leaks and sometimes we'll have some bathroom issues, but I think that is one of the charms of the basement, similar to like CBGB's, that has had a built-in crowd for, I wouldn't necessarily say griminess, but you know, that old school rock and roll feel where it's all about the music and you can get a drink and have a great time. But the basement has this amazing, small, intimate feel with a kind of like a pseudo pit that we've made, and it's one of those intimate, special places.
If you like this song, we're releasing it soon, so that's all I'm gonna say. It's called Alone.
I've seen plenty of bands where their first show will be at the basement here and they'll sell maybe 20 tickets. And then the next time they come back, we're at maybe 50 tickets. And then depending on how their career is going, the next obvious move is to play the A&R Music Bar. And then hopefully the Newport and then Express Live. Sometimes people skip steps, sometimes they jump all over the board. Yeah, this is the spot where if this is your first tour, this is the logical place to start your career.
How we feeling, Columbus? We're a band called 90s Kids. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
90s Kids opened for a band from Cincinnati called Harbor, and usually when a show is happening, I have a lot of paperwork to do, but for some reason I was over here and I caught a couple songs and I was like, these kids are absolutely amazing. And it wasn't for probably 5-6 months after that it kind of clicked on me. I was like, I should probably have those kids back and see if they want to do their own show. And sure enough, they were very interested and sold that show out with about a couple weeks before the show. So it was a very successful night for them and an absolutely amazing performance.
The fact that you guys sold out this room for us, give yourselves a round of applause. We love you guys so much. Thank you for being here.
To have your, sold out headliner at an iconic venue like that, you see the artists that break through start at the basement, right? You see 21 Pilots and, where they were in 2012 and where they're at now, right? In 2012, 2013, they're playing the basement, same room that we are, everything seems to start at the basement. And I think a lot of Columbus folks might take that for granted. Britton met with us and said, hey, I've been thinking about your band a lot lately. I have, kind of this progression in mind for you guys. I want you guys at my venue, and I want you guys playing our bigger venues in 2 years' time, and here's how to get there. And he said it all starts with a headliner at the basement, and it starts with a sold-out headliner at the basement.
I think we've all played the basement multiple times at this point, but that show was so special because it was the first sold-out headliner that we had played there.
This is the biggest room we've ever sold out, and that's awesome. So thank you guys so much.
When you walk out in the basement,
A mountain of people.
yeah, it's so cool. It truly looks like it's just people surrounding you everywhere because the basement's so intimate and it's so tight and it's so close, but it's got this just awesome feel. You walk out, there's just a sea of people. That moment, and then the lights come on, and I think from there, that was probably some of the best 45 minutes of our career as a band.
Yeah,
So
that was awesome.
So since that show in the basement a few months ago, they've gotten an article on Billboard.
we had a Billboard premiere of our latest single, High School. We played a pretty big festival at the Agora Theater in Cleveland just a couple months after that. And then now, very soon, we're going off on a 2-week tour with an artist called Fangs.
And in terms of how that specific show has helped us, we had Promo West TV come out, and it was just kind of a perfect storm where it was like probably the best show we've ever put on, best production, and then also we have this professional camera crew. We're filming all of it for us to send out to all these festivals and different artists that, we could possibly get a spot on their tour because they see this awesome footage of us. So now if you search, 90s Kids Band live on YouTube, this awesome Promo West TV footage shows up, and it's definitely kind of like marketing material for us.
And actually just recently we broke our first 1 million streams on Spotify, which was a super cool moment for, a young band like us. What it did for us was expand our community in Columbus, and I think everybody who was there, whether it was friends, family, or just fans of our band, I think everybody that was there, it really felt like it was a special moment for everybody involved. To be able to spring off of a sold-out show at the basement like that and get these kind of opportunities to tour the country, that just goes to show how big of a milestone that was for us.
Yeah, we're currently writing new music, and we're really, really excited about it. Easily the best music we've ever written, and it's different, it's unique. We're pumped.
Whenever they're ready and want to come back and do another show, I think the logical next step would be for them to play A&R Music Bar, see if they can't sell that one out as well.
Columbus, let me hear you!
It's just one of the most liberating and exhilarating experiences I personally can have. Doing something that you're good at in front of a group of people that you actually care about it just brings it up to a whole nother level.
It's an outlet. Going up there and having the most fun and just dancing and going crazy.
You kind of just lose yourself in the moment a lot. Like, you literally just forget about everything. And like, we're looking at each other as we're playing, we're all jumping around, like everyone's got a smile on their face, and it's just really, really fun.
It just feels amazing.
Thank you so much, Columbus!
I guess in my experience here, I have noticed that bands that come through Columbus realize, one, they are in the Midwest, and two, they're in a place called the basement. And I get the most humbled bands. Like, they are very eager to play their music and get their material out to people, as many people as they can from all different corners of the United States. So basically I get the best case scenario where I get the rock stars without the egos, So requests come in very minimal. Most bands just want some chips and some water and, you know, a place to play their guitars and drums, and that's really all they want.
What's so great about Columbus is, you know, a lot of people tell us, oh man, you know, you guys need to move down to Nashville or move to LA, you know, where you guys can really dig in and start creating music. And we always say, you know, that'd be an awesome opportunity someday, but we love it right here because there is a very great underground and emerging community of artists here. And I think, you know, as compared to the bigger music cities, people want to attend those kind of events more here because it's not so saturated. You know, there's a lot more room for people to create and for those creations to be seen, whether it's music and bands or whether it is, you know, art or, you know, video production, things like that. I think Columbus gives you a platform that you wouldn't have, you know, in a bigger, more saturated kind of music or art city.
Columbus is one of those communities that is a very tight-knit group here. I see it with the way local bands curate their shows. Usually it's 2 or 3 bands and they're all either good friends or they don't even know each other at all. It's when you see a band from Columbus get a little bit of success, they like to bring up all their friends with them, and I love that about Columbus here.
I feel like the basement has such a storied past, and with all of the incredible artists who have come through and eventually blown up from playing that venue, it is kind of a rite of passage for the Columbus music scene.
I remember a specific moment. We were walking outside, you know, before that show, we were looking at Express Live. We were out back there and we were just like, one day, you know, one day we'll be there. And it all starts right here.